you gave some couple of options and you said you don't have to change the code. You just have to change in the orchestrator some changes. No, those things I missed a little bit, so I couldn't follow that actually towards the end of the session yesterday.
Let team members answer your question.
Sorry?
Let the team members answer your question.
Okay.
Sudhira or Swapna, please take this as an advantage to discuss what did we do.
Yeah. Okay. So we are running the bot from the robot only, like giving the queue name in the orchestrator queue name. So by default, if we give the queue name, if we change the queue name here, then it will take the queue name from here.
I can't see your screen.
Oh, okay. Do you want? Okay. Sorry. Yeah, here. So we created the process, right? With the queue names like INR. You can able to see my screen, right?
Yeah, I can see my screen. Yes, we created a performer and we changed the name and we associated a process with this, right?
Yes.
And then only it will come. This is the
robot. This is assistant.
Okay.
Yeah. Here, if you click here, we'll get the we can have the queue name here. So we can give the respect to queue name. Here we have the INR process and we can give the queue name here. Same as for USD, we can give the USD queue name here. And we can save it and run.
Oh, so what we are doing is we are creating multiple processes. Is that correct?
Exactly. We'll be creating in the here. We'll be creating
with the same
the process.
name. With the same name.
If we create the process here, it will be populating in the robot.
Okay, so you went to add process and you did that, right? How did you create that? You went to add process?
Yeah, we added the process.
Okay. Associated.
And here will be giving the package.
The same package will give. So we create 3 processes for the same package. And only the queue name we are changing. Is that right?
Yes. So when we create the process here, and it will be populated in the robot. So if we click on the process, we'll be getting the option of having the queue name.
Okay.
So we'll be giving the respect to queue name and we'll start running the bot.
Okay. Where are we giving that default one?
Default one, I think we have given, if we don't give any queue name, by default, it will be taking the default given because here we have given the queue name. Yeah, here we have given the queue name. It will be here like sales.
No, sorry. How did you come here? Even this part is not very clear for me.
Okay. In the automations, the process names will be there, right? The process, jobs, triggers, logs.
Yeah.
Automation process. He will be creating the process here. Add process. We'll be adding a process here. Okay. So in this, I'll be going to the edit. So we edit the process and we'll be having the package, the entry point. So here we'll be getting the arguments.
Okay.
So if we edit the argument, here we can see the orchestrator queue name.
Okay.
So if we give here the default, the one which we want.
Oh, the default one we are giving here, is it?
Exactly.
Only the default. Okay.
Yeah, whatever we want.
Yeah, whatever.
Here. So this will be taken place. If we don't give any queue name in a robot, by default, it will be taking the queue name what we have given in the orchestrator.
Oh, okay. Okay,
yeah.
Got it. Okay. This argument, what you have given the second one, what is that?
No, actually, this is nothing like previously we created the dummy one.
Okay, so
this will be the one.
Okay, so we are. I understood, okay, how we are creating three processes. We are assigning the respective queue names. If no queue name, I go to arguments and give it there as a default what should be. That I understood. Now, how are we going to do this in the studio? I mean, how or how when we are running, how do we run that entire process?
Okay, so in a studio, we'll be developing a bot, right?
Yeah,
So if we after developing a bot, we'll be publishing.
correct.
So if we publish, it will be available in here. So we'll go to the process.
Yeah,
We'll
but
create-
before that, when we go to the studio, where are we receiving that? Where is the value for that? Where the studio has to receive the value of the queue from the orchestrator. Where are we doing that statement? That in argument queue name. Where are we giving that statement? You got my
we will-
question.
no.
Okay.
No.
So there are three processes that are there in the orchestrator with different. Okay, actually, forget the process. There are some 3-4 queues, right? We have.
Okay, I'll go to queues just a second. Okay, here are the queues.
Okay, so we are passing default as an argument to our studio
Wait.
right? I mean,
Yeah, we are giving the queue name in the argument.
yeah, where are we receiving that argument? We are passing the argument here, but where are we receiving it?
I think we'll be receiving the-
I don't know, Vajrang, you understood the question, or
Vajrang,
am I just saying something not relevant? I don't know.
no, maybe I did not get. Vajrang,
Okay.
can you please help me?
Let Sudhira try to answer if Sudhira has an answer, or Swapna. Sorry, Swapna. Till now, Sudhira tried to answer, right? Swapna?
Yes, Vajran.
Yeah. So did you understand the question of Pune?
So what I understood is where are we receiving this queue name in the performer?
Is that correct?
That is your question, right, Purnima?
Yeah, performer or dispatcher, whichever we are running. Yeah, maybe in this case it's the performer because we are created the processes for performer, right? So yeah, performer.
Okay. So what exactly do you want to know?
So I mean, I don't know if I've not understood the flow itself. So I'm passing the queue value as an argument. So how do I run the process? Okay, how do I run these processes? I have to run 3 different processes. Is it for performers, Vajram?
Yes, correct.
Oh, so from the assistant itself, I will run these processes. That's all, right?
Yeah. Or else you can also use one process to run all the queues.
How do I do that?
See, on the right side there is in orchestrator queue name. You can just pass in the queue name and click on one.
Okay, keep changing it every time and then hit on run.
Yes.
But like for sales of here, we can keep changing all the queue name. We don't need to give the other processor.
Okay, and in the previous one, when we did the dispatcher, Vajrang, you mentioned that how do we get the queue name? I mean, not queue name or any. I think in orchestrator, I showed you right that dispatcher there was a section in init settings where we are receiving that
Queue
in
name.
argument, and you said in the main it will. I asked you whether in invoke workflow, if we do, or it comes from the orchestrator, how will the studio know? So you said in the main, I will, if it is called, then it means it will come only from the orchestrator. Am I making sense? Or
Yeah. So
so where is that statement? I want to see that the
they are
main.
open first run in the performer.
Okay.
Yeah, below if condition, open the if condition. In settings, nothing will be there. Main workflow. Yeah, scroll down. Yeah, if condition. Open that if
Yeah.
condition.
Okay. Yeah, here.
Not this. This is queue folder queue name in orchestrator queue folder.
Okay.
This one?
Yeah. So I think with the latest argument or with the latest RE framework code, they have added one more argument called, okay, go to arguments. Let's see if we have multiple arguments. There are two arguments now. Which folder are we running in and which queue name are we using it? Earlier we had only in orchestrator queue name. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But this is the logic. Like if you receive some information from orchestrator or from the robot as an in argument,
Okay.
then this will assign config orchestrator queue name to whatever value you got.
So basically, we are populating the dictionary.
We are updating
After
the dictionary.
receiving, okay, we are okay.
So we are just assigning in orchestrator queue name or config of orchestrator queue name to whatever value that is sent either from the orchestrator or from robot tray.
Okay, so when I run the process INRD, I mean Q underscore INR from the assistant, technically what happens is that INR is passed into this argument here, and effectively it will go into this code and it will be populating that config dictionary. Is that right, Vajram?
Config dictionary will already be populated in the init all settings in the before step, in the previous step.
But the value has to come, no? Orchestrator queue name in a orchestrator queue.
See, that's what I'm saying. Understand the flow of how things are getting executed. Click on first one, Suvira. So first what's happening? First we are initializing all the settings, right?
Right.
In the initializing of all the settings, we will add values from config. So here we are populating all the dictionary.
Okay.
Now this dictionary will be sent as an out argument to main. If you see in the arguments, after populating, this will be all the settings details will be sent as an out argument, which will be config dictionary.
Queue name is getting added here, is it?
Yes.
Queue name also?
Yes, queue name from the config sheet.
No, but config sheet we will not be. Okay, so my question is, in the run, dynamically we are changing. So is the config getting updated every time?
Config sheet
How does
will
that
not be
flow
updated.
work?
Config sheet
That is
will
my
not
question,
be,
Vajram.
config sheet will not be updated. Config variable will be updated.
Okay, so whenever dynamically I'm changing in the orchestrator, what happens here? I want to just understand. Okay, from there the variable comes to in arguments into the in orchestrator queue name. First run will not run, isn't it, when it executed the second time? Or will it run?
So when you're talking about execution, whenever you start or whenever you trigger a robot, that's the first run. You cannot treat it as a first. See, what is the second run is. So once you start the bot, okay, give me the access to Suvira. So just understand this flow. So once you start the bot, so this is what will be executed. Like if the initialization is completed, then it will get the transaction item and it will continue to process that item. So when there is system exception, then it will go to initialization. So, but when it will go to initialization, you need not click on run again. So if there is a new queue item, it will again pick up from the get transaction data.
Okay.
So when you're saying about first run, it's when you're triggering it either from orchestrator or from robot.
Okay, so if I have three processes and I'm having three queues, which Sudhira just showed me, and when I run that, each and every process, every time first run will be executed because there are three different processes, correct? No? Effectively.
True, correct.
That is correct. Okay, so I put here QINR and I say run. So this value, where is it getting changed? Can you show me in the studio? how it goes. Let's say earlier
Okay.
one was default.
See,
Now I run the
that's
second
what
time.
I'm trying
What
to
happens?
explain. That's what I'm trying to explain. Every time it picks up from the init all settings, it gets value only from the config.
But config we would have put default, right? What is happening? I forgot.
Yeah. So config orchestrator queue name is queue default.
Yes, but we have changed it to INR now.
Exactly. So where are we
So it
changing?
should not take default again. It should take INR.
Exactly. So but where is it changing?
Sorry?
Where is it
Vajra, your
changing?
volume?
No. Where is it changing? That's what I'm asking. Where
Yeah, that is what I want to understand. Where is that happening?
Yes. So that's happening. So after initialize all the settings, we have config dictionary, and in that config dictionary, we will have a key called orchestrator queue name.
Config dictionary, I directly go and change, because initially it will first put it as default, then it will come out of the first run and it will go to that which Sudhira clicked before.
Just a second. To make it more clear, let's go ahead and keep a breakpoint over here.
Right.
Okay, in the init arguments, Sudhira, please add a queue underscore INR. Okay, so let's debug the flow. So this is like executing everything from the beginning, and in the robot tray, you gave this particular item.
Yeah. So technically, after putting default, it should change.
Let's see. Okay, now we have all the config values loaded in this. Let's go ahead and see what's there in
config of queue name.
Config of
orchestrator queue name.
I think that value is wrong. So what is the name?
Default.
So why is it default?
Because it is taken from the config in the first run.
So is it clear?
Yeah, it is clear. So it has gone to the first run, it has taken.
Okay, so why did it go into the first run?
Because you're executing the bot for the first time.
So config is having an empty value. So that's the reason we are executing the first run, right?
No, empty value I didn't understand. Yeah, because the config is nothing.
Correct.
That's why.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in this particular item, let's see what is in orchestrator queue. In underscore orchestrator queue name. So what is orchestrator queue name?
INR.
What exactly this condition is telling?
So it should not be a blank row.
It should not be a blank value.
No, blank value. Okay, sorry, blank value.
So if it is a blank value, then it can skip.
It will retain default itself.
Yeah. Since this is not a blank value, it will go into the then condition. Okay, so what's there in then condition?
Then condition is config of orchestrator queue name is equal to this value INR.
So
okay. Here is where you are replacing the default value with the INR. Q underscore default is replaced by Q underscore INR.
Now this gets replaced.
Oh yeah.
Now when we continue, which item will be executed or which queue will be executed?
it will be going forward. It will be only config. It will take only Q_INR.
Is your doubt clear?
Yeah, it's clear. So this if condition, if in underscore orchestrator Q name, that is outside the first run, right? It's not in that block. It's outside.
It's inside the first run because it will take only once.
Oh. Got it, yeah. Now I got it, Vajram. So every time I run those three processes by changing Q names, first run will get executed and it will first take the default because if there is no value, but instead of passing it here, instead of passing, you went to the argument and you put Q_INR here. Instead of that, I leave this blank, but I go to the, what is that, UI activity, what is that, I keep forgetting that name, assistant, that UI assistant, I go and I change that to INR. I don't change it here, but I change it there. Then also this value will get updated, right? Because it's coming in. Is that right?
So this argument is what it's showing in the robot.
Yeah, but here you have put hard-coded the value Q_INR in the program, in the studio right now. For the example's sake, you showed us, right?
Correct.
You remove that and you pass it from here, it will still hold the value Q_INR, even if this is blank, because you're passing from the orchestrator.
It doesn't depend if I add the value here or not. If there is a value that's coming in from the execution, it will take only that value.
Great. So if I pass Q_EUR there and I put default value INR here, which will get the precedence?
Whatever you give from the execution.
From the orchestrator.
From the execution, orchestrator or robot, whatever it is.
Oh, the default value will not take precedence if it is coming from the execution.
Correct.
But if I run it directly, then the config value gets replaced. Okay, I got it. I don't want to confuse too much. Yeah, I understood, Vajran. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Finally, I just understood something.
Okay. That's fine. So let's go ahead with the question that I asked you to work for this week. So I'm trying to add that in the Teams channel. So Sudhira, can you please open Team 3 notes and open the task that I'm giving you. So this should be completed by Saturday.
Okay.
On the left, there will be sections, open section. Left. Yeah, that block above. No. So sections are these.
Okay.
Okay. So here we have week 3 task. So this is your use case. So again, I am taking directly from the portal because you will have the URL as well as you will have the data and everything you will have. So it will be easier for you to work. Use case is simple. So first you need to download the spreadsheet. You have all the information, right? And
Yes, sir.
second thing is you need to open a web application. So Procurement Anywhere is a web application. It has a username admin@procurementanywhere.com.
Password is payback.
So all the steps that I'm manually doing it right now should be executed by a bot. Only till here. So I want you to add details in the orchestrator, I want to add assets in the orchestrator, everything need to be updated. Okay, so use case is simple. Now there are some items that come in the purchase orders. Whenever there is a purchase order, I need to pick up that purchase order. Okay, and search in two places. First place is this one, order tracking, and the second place is here. Like, okay, with this order, what is the buyer organization that you get? Casin Hyundai. So that you need to filter out from here. Equals. So again, you need not do it manually. You can use code to find the value. Clear full name. I think there is a different first name. Full name, buyer address. Company purchase order. Okay. So following purchase orders must have missing details field and must be assigned to appropriate individuals based on the state in which buyer resides. Note all the orders total values need to be submitted as only numbers, not dollars. So there can be some values that you need to ignore. So here 566.21 is what we have. After search this, you need to get this value and paste it over here. Okay, and ship date. So what is the ship date? 5/6/2020. So ship date should be updated. Okay, and assigned agent or anyone. So who is it exactly? So if you see here in the state assignments, so the state is AK, AR and all. We need to see what is the state.
NY.
NY. So who is the manager for NY?
N.
Okay. So NY is Grand Brown. So from the drop down, you need to select Grand Brown. After you complete all the items, like all the submissions, you need to hit on submit. So the time and accuracy is what you will get. Okay. So all you need is, you need to take the screenshot and send it to me over email. To my email ID, vajranget@outlook.com. The mail ID is updated in the Teams notes, Team 3 notes. So I want this flow to be automated and it should be in RE framework, and we need to have 100% accuracy with the least amount of time. If you want to give a try manually, go ahead and give it a try. Like what exactly are we doing? We can take questions. You need to open this page. You also need to log into this application. Pick an item from here.
We need to open this also, right?
XLSX.
First, we need to log into this page, right? No,
Yes.
it's not login. Just we need to browse for this page.
Yes.
Download this. Downloading.
Yeah, then sign into web.
Yeah, we need to go to this and sign in.
Yeah, can scroll down. Yeah.
We need to extract all these values.
No need. Go to Automation Anywhere Labs. First tab. Search for a PO number. No, first tab. Go to the first tab. First tab.
So there are Automation Anywhere Labs.
Yeah.
Copy the PO number. Copy the next one. So state is NV.
Yes.
So you need to get the details for NV from assignments, state assignments. NV. NV is different from NE.
Yeah, Matthew. Okay. Then order details where we need to fetch.
Yeah, you need to fetch the ship date and order total.
We need to assign Matthew, but order total ship date.
That will be there in search. Yeah, here it is. Second tab. Open second tab. So here it is. Order total and date is 10/4/2020.
చదువుకున్నా చదువుకున్నా నేను వస్తాను
To submit after entering all the values, right?
Yes. Even if you submit between, that's fine, but it will give you only a less amount of accuracy. I think once you submit it, you cannot submit again.
Okay.
You need to refresh the page.
accuracy is 0 means what?
None
What
of the
does it
values
mean?
are correct.
We did not fill the values.
Okay.
I'll make it easy for you. You can download this file and you can keep it in the project folder and read it directly. So instead of downloading it again, while running the code, you can read the Excel file and you can filter the values. So any questions? Yeah. So my training is completed for 2 weeks. Now it's time for you to work for next 2 weeks. And we will also complete API. So I'm not sure how many of you have checked. Yesterday I have shared a URL about APIs.
Yeah.
So I'll be like we cannot complete it in within 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So I'm creating a complete series on it. So it will be helpful for you too. Okay.
We'll be using it in the project, is it, Raja?
This project, no. Next project, yes.
Okay. You were mentioning about using Action Center. You said there are minimum fields. So is it something that we have to start with? That we can start with along when we are doing this?
Yes, you can, but first complete this code or complete the execution. The main reason being once you are settled with RE framework, because see, uh, till now you are still struggling to understand RE framework. I want you to
Yeah.
do at least one project without my help.
Okay.
So once you get it done, Action Center and all those are activities. That's not projects.
Okay.
That you can learn it. That shouldn't be a problem.
Fine.
Okay. But here you need my help for sure. Because if you don't get my help here, then you will not get the help anywhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's your plan of execution? How exactly are we going to do that? So what if we do task mining and task capture for this activity? So what is task mining and process mining for this activity? Go ahead, answer. What is task mining and process mining for this particular supply chain procurement? Huh? Yes.
Process, I mean, my guess that process mining is the flow. How we draw the process diagram, that thing. I don't know what is process mining, but the
Okay.
process is something that from one to another, what is the sequence of execution is a process.
Okay.
So we have to identify what should happen when certain conditions are met or not met, so that will determine the flow. So that is typically
Swapna, you
the
are already
process.
working as a tester, right? Now, support engineer. Is it you or Rajni? Swapna?
Swapna is in testing, right, Swapna?
She's into support, I guess. Swapna, can you please unmute and talk?
Yes, Vajrang, I am into testing only.
Testing of UiPath?
No, I am into Salesforce testing.
Okay, Salesforce testing. Got it. Okay, I think Rajni is into RPA support role. Fine. So, see, process mining is not only about identifying a solution, but also identifying a parameter whether the process can be automated or not. What is the like the first day or the second day we discussed on why should we take a process first. If we have taken a process, how many options do we need to find out? Please check in the team notes. We clearly mentioned there. Like we need to see about the budget, we need to see about the process stability and process documentation, everything. So once we decide on the process, so whatever the steps that we are doing now is task mining. So clicking on a particular window, typing into a particular item, and finding the values with respect to this task is known as task mining. So along with this, we can have multiple tasks for a process. But what exactly are we doing is what process mining and task mining is about. Simply, if you say tasks, then a task is a single entity which have few steps for a robot to execute. Process mining is trying to understand what is the existing execution of the process or how the process gets executed, how many teams are involved, what are they doing, everything, and trying to find out any specific process that can be automated. Sudhir, can you please share your screen with teams that we have created as notes? Yeah, go to channel, go to sections. So Yeah, go to multi-board architecture or something where we have discussed about, not this one. Go to untitled section. Yeah, process analysis. Double click on it or expand. On the top, you can expand if I'm not wrong. Next to chat window. Yeah, that's correct. Before refresh.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Scroll down. Okay. So these are the things we just need to see. Steps to be understand, make inputs fixed, time consumption we need to check, frequency of bot execution we need to check, cost included to get the license. So all this is to get the process mining. These are the steps of process mining. Okay. What is a potential candidate for business process? Process mapping, goal to achieve after completion, exceptions how to handle. All these are process mining. Now whatever the PDD or the steps that we discussed just now, the like create, click on this particular, open this window or open this application, open or log into this other window, search for a particular item, paste in this window and fetch the values. So all these steps are task mining, where we are working on a specific task, but this is not a complete process. So any questions? Did you understand? You did not understand? What is your idea?
So if it is a process, then it is not, it's outside of development. So it is outside of design, or it's the overall process, how we approach the entire thing. So this is more generic, and we identify whether certain things are feasible or not based on these steps. But task mining is something that when you have narrowed down, you have done the design, you know the exact flow, then you go into details of each of those. Is that what it is?
Correct.
Okay.
Vajran, can we say like process mining is like documenting and task mining is like practically doing that?
See, task mining also will be documenting, right? Think
Yeah,
that
like what we are
task
doing.
mining will be so when you come to task mining, you will get to know what is your requirement. You will get to know what are the applications. You will get to know what are the steps that you need to make. Whereas process mining, you are trying to understand whether that particular process is at least will be automated or not, or can be automated or not. Or if you want to automate, then what are the steps that we need to take? And is it feasible or not?
But when we did the process document, we did task capture and we went to task capture. Why is it called task capture instead of process capture? Then
Because that is task capture only. That's not process capture. That's task capture. We are taking step by step process, right? We are taking each and every activity or each and every click into consideration. So that's
Task
task
capture
management.
comes under task mining.
Yes.
but why is this process mining such a new concept now? I mean, it's already existing. I mean, we all do this from the beginning for any project for that matter, not only automation, right? So why is that concept now they're talking about, like process mining? What is that? That I didn't understand. Like why that so much of hype is given to that?
That's not a hype that's given. Actually, what happened was companies started to release automation tools to get the automations done. But what exactly happened was after they complete one or two automations, they don't know what's the next process to be automated or what is the next task to be automated. So
Okay.
for that reason, they now introduced this task mining as well as this process mining, where we first focus on what should be automated rather than going into automation directly.
Okay.
First, we need to understand what is the process. For example, let's say our training is a process. Okay. Attending morning session 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock is one task that we need to perform.
Right.
Okay. Along with that, what I need to do, I need to first give out an advertisement that okay, I'm trying to conduct a session on from 8 to 9 p.m., 8 to 9 a.m. in the morning. So that is one more task. Second task is to create users for everyone into teams. That is one more task. Third thing is to check with the payments and verify whether the payments are correct or not. So that is one more task. So all these tasks are available for me, but this is a process of giving training for you. So the actual process is to provide training for you.
So there is only one process here in our case, but there are multiple tasks.
Exactly. So now here, how many tasks can be automated of all the documented process that I have? First thing, sending of invitations is automated because I cannot send invitation to each and everyone. Right.
Okay.
And how so creating of that particular video cannot be automated because I need to consider various things. I need to take feedbacks from the previous training sessions. I need to add them in the current training session, add that advertisement and send it out. So can that be automated?
Which video are you talking about? I'm not clear.
So initially, I rolled out a video stating that I'll be providing the training.
Okay, add video.
Not here, like initially to general public, everyone in YouTube.
Yeah, so advertisement video. I mean, that's the ad video about the course.
Exactly. So can that be automated?
No. Creation of video, that cannot be automated.
But is it also a task for me in the process?
Yeah.
So we are checking with the process and understanding what are the process steps or what are the tasks that I'm doing. And within these tasks, which task is or which task can be automated is the next step. So I will also check how many times am I repeating. For example, if you see, I will send WhatsApp message before I start a session or before the first demo session. Let's assume that there are 300 members. I cannot send message to each and everyone. I cannot also create WhatsApp group because WhatsApp only supports 260 members in a group. So I need to send messages individually.
Yeah.
So I have automated that process as well. So what exactly will happen is I have a predefined text document where I am writing all the text and I will give one input file to the bot. So what bot will do, it will read the information from the text file, it will read the information from the Excel application, and it will start typing in a mobile number and it will send the message, and it will do it for all the 300 members. So this is process mining and task mining. So the task mining is exactly what exactly should I do? Should I need to open web application WhatsApp, or should I open a desktop application WhatsApp? Where should I click? Should I search it or should I find it somewhere? Should I type into a message, or what exactly should be done? After sending a message, am I writing that message is sent to a particular person in any particular Excel? How am I creating a report? So all these things will come into task mining. But actual process is a bigger process. There can be multiple tasks that can come in a process.
Okay.
Okay.
So process is more at a business level.
So a developer will not see a process, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Developer will only see about the task.
Right. Right. And a business analyst may not really go into each and every task, or maybe he will to explain to them, I guess.
So business analyst may try to understand each and every task that are a part of a process, and he will guide which task to be taken and which task not to be taken,
Right. Okay.
because he has understanding of business as well as the technical understanding of which can be automated and which cannot be automated. Okay, we still have 5 more minutes. Any other questions?
So the process mining and task mining are concepts. So there is no document, there is no tool or that. I mean, it's just the concepts. Process mining is a concept. Task mining is a concept which you have to understand and apply it wherever. Is that correct?
Exactly. And also, if you see, you said about tools. So each and every company has their own tools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sudhira, go ahead into web browser and search for RPA compatible test. RPA compatibility test. Scroll down. So if you see here, there is discovery of so process mining is like discovery of a process to find out which process do we need to take. Scroll down. No need to check with this. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Just search for something where you can find out. Excuse me. Just a second. I'm also checking from mind.
So when we did task capture, Vajra, we used task capture and we did n number of steps. We converted it to a PDD and all that, right?
Yeah.
So inside task capture, there is a PDD, that is process flow diagram.
Okay.
It was there.
So again, PDD process definition document, but that process definition document ideally talks only about a task. Okay. Open the message that I have sent just now. Sudhira. So continue with your question, Purnima.
Yeah, so in that whatever we did previously, the task capture, in that the process diagram, that part is not clear. How come the process diagram we are putting inside a task capture? Why are we doing it?
So when you
That
see a process diagram, it's also a task diagram if you clearly observe.
okay, but why are they calling it process flow? Because it's the overall. Yeah, in that we are not writing about how many bots are needed or whether what are all the things. Only the development related flow is typically mentioned there, right?
Exactly. What happened, Sudhira?
Yeah, you said you have sent one message, basically.
Okay, I'm sending it in WhatsApp as well. Yeah. So yes. So process definition document is the name that's given. Ideally, thinking that we are completely automating all the process, but we ended up working only on tasks. And Automation Anywhere found it earlier, and so if you go with Automation Anywhere, there we will be creating tasks uh, instead of a process. So here we are talking about workflows, right? New workflow that can be a sequence or a flowchart or a state machine. For us, this is a workflow.
Right.
In Automation Anywhere, that will be a task.
Right.
Okay. So now see here, quick process calculation calculator. So what exactly do we need to see? Is it an increase in productivity or cost savings, compliance, and profitability? You need to select on whatever you want. So let's say that I want to increase productivity alone. Let's leave with the cost savings. Scroll down. Other requirements you can leave. Go with step by step. Number of full-time equivalents on the task. So when you say full-time equivalents, how many members are working on this task.
Okay.
Let's say that there are 4 members currently working on the task. And how many bank holders do we have in a year? 20.
These are all the process. For the process, we need to know all this, right? So to
Exactly.
calculate the number of working days or
Exactly. So average holders, so leave it. Process should be equal to less than or 15. So there it's mentioning or it's saying that okay, it cannot be more than 15 holidays.
so Vajran, here the process is calculate working hours or effective working hours or something. For
The
example,
process is not calculating of working hours. The process exactly will depend on. Okay, yeah, continue. Sorry, I interrupted. Let's complete the question, then I'll answer.
no, for example, it can be anything, but for example, if we are calculating the effective number of working hours, that will be the process, a part of the process. But all these bank holidays, average sickness, average holidays, all will be tasks, isn't it? Because we need all these details, all these inputs to get the flow. I mean, to calculate, to
True.
know the complete
Correct.
that process. Is that right?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. So these are typically tasks.
Exactly.
Probably not automatable, or maybe automatable, because bank holidays and all will be fixed, right? So we can automate this.
Exactly. So go ahead and fill in the remaining items. Let's see. We still have 5 more minutes. After that, we can close. So make it faster.
Oh, what is this number of working days per hour? Working days, Vajra?
Yes, I think it's getting calculated automatically.
Okay.
So these are also getting calculated automatically. Time allocated for this process per day. So if you go to the top, we are spending only 5 minutes for 5% of the work. Time allocated to process per day. So for a person, how much time are we allocating? Out of 8 hours, we are allocating only 5 minutes or 5% is what we are mentioning. So if a person is working 100% on that particular task, like he is only working on repeated activity, then time allocated will be more. So how much are you paying? Let's say that you are paying $20 per a person. So FT cost average per hour is 20. 20% uplift the FTE. Okay, that's fine. Leave it. Scroll down. What is 20%? It's 20. It's not 20%. Did you add percentage?
No.
Okay.
I'll
Scroll down. So total it came to. So how much are we spending for the complete process on FTE? It's 1,45,843 pounds. Okay. If there are any more managers working on this, so let's assume that there are managers and their salary. So this is like clearly understanding how much exactly the process is taking and how much uh, cost are we going to reduce. So in this way, every organization has their own templates. You need not go and reinvent those templates. If you just follow with those templates, then it should be fine. So am I clear or am I not clear? But just understand that this is exactly not required if you are going for a developer position. This is just to understand that whenever you get a process, this is how you normally get. We do some calculations, we do some mappings. try to understand how exactly the process is available. Is the process automatable or not? Everything will take into consideration. Okay. So how much time will you give? Will you take to complete the PDD and to start the work for our process that I have
So
given
we
you?
can have an internal team discussion, right, Vajrang? Is it possible that even though we are divided into two
I may
team
not
of
be involved, so you you can talk within your team. This is your team. You can communicate with whomever you want.
okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So by tomorrow, I need to have the PED and at least the process. So there will be no dispatcher process, only the performer in RE framework. So just get the PDD ready first. So tomorrow it will be Thursday morning. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday will be the execution time. By Saturday, I need to have the execution, complete execution. And once you are done, I also need to. I'm interested in creating or record that video of execution and place it in the LinkedIn. People will start recognizing you that you are working on this.
Record of execution of the project, is it? The automation.
Exactly.
Okay. When the final product is ready, we have to just run it and record it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Good night, Sudhira.
Thanks, Vajrang. Hey,
Bye.
Sudhira and Swapna, 2 more minutes. Yeah, I mean, like Vajrang can leave, I think.
Thank you.
Just.
Bye bye.